Yes, indeed. Jonathan Trapman, and founder trustee of the People's Union of Britain, which, as I may have mentioned before, we have now laid all the evidence papers and the complete prosecution against the Four Horsemen of the COVID apocalypse, they being Mr. Hancock, Mr. Ferguson, Whitty and Vallance, the four members who have, well, all of which were colluding to create this pandemic fraud. Now, so we ourselves, for our little infraction, alleged infraction of being present, talking freely and everything else in Bristol last November, we are now told that this is going to be handed firstly to the CPS and then to go to trial on the 3rd and 4th of August. Now, a couple of things here will make this, and I'll make this prediction. I don't often make predictions, but this is not going to go ahead. Firstly, because the CPS will throw it out, as they've thrown every single case out, up to now, every single case. We are no exception. We are just merely four people who have come to Bristol last November to be free, talk free, walk free, and then told that we're arrested under a specious, they call a law. None of this has been law, and it will be proven in the pub's case against the Four Horsemen. And that we are expecting, because the case and the papers and everything else, and all the stuff has gone down from Marylebone Magistrates Court, has now been given to Bromley Magistrates Court, and Bromley handles private criminal prosecutions. That is what they do. So therefore, being in Bromley means that every box has been ticked. Our cases are solid enough to be heard in the High Court, which will most probably be in the Old Bailey, with 12 jury, men and women of good, and we're expecting the case number to be issued at the end of this week or the beginning of next week, which will mean that then a preliminary trial will be issued. Each of those four will be issued their summons. If any one of them or all of them do not turn up to court, that is when they will be warranted for arrest for not turning up. And it will continue. So this will all happen. And this will all happen before the 3rd and 4th. So that's why I say, pretty categorically, we're not going to be going ahead with this thing. This is just circus for the people. And for anybody who likes to support the prosecution in what they're doing, which is also BS. And I can say categorically that the police, whether it be Metropolitan, whether it be here, Avon and Somerset, the offenders who are colluding and aiding and abetting in this whole pandemic fraud will be, as they very well know, committing a criminal offence, as anything aiding and abetting a criminal, anything criminal is becoming criminal yourself. It's also to be noted that yesterday the ICC, the International Criminal Court, was served notice of and permission to grant prosecution of the British government for genocide. Because one of the things that we will be certainly taking this private criminal prosecution towards is, after the fraud, we will be then going for treason, and we will then be going for genocide and mass murder. So this has only just started, but what it's going to do between now and, let's say, our alleged case of the 3rd and 4th is it is going to mean that the country will wake up. Those of us who have colluded, those of us who've just accepted the mainstream media's propaganda bullshit they've been putting out for the government, they will then start waking up. Not everybody, there will be a lot of cognitive dissonance, but what will happen is that this whole criminal pandemic fraud will collapse under its feet.
So potentially what could be happening in August is that Mayor Corbyn could be returning back to Bristol.
That will be fun, and I mean, we're looking for fun. We're looking for joy, people, because this is an extraordinarily joyful time, although it may seem like the hardest and ghastliness of time. It isn't. It's the beginning of the release of everyone into their birthright of freedom, free speech, and doing what they wish to do without harm to others. So yes, and that is why the People's Union of Britain, PUB, was originally set up to bring the common law back to the land as the only law of the land. And that is our intention. And when that happens, we're all one. We're back to where we were 2,300 years ago.
Thank you very much, sir.
Cheers.